Hey, in this week's One Big Thing in Livestock Markets, we're going to take a look at cattle prices, in particular the sort of free fall in the fed cattle market that we've seen over the last 5 weeks or so. In fact, if we go back since mid-March, mid to late March, the cattle market's down almost 11%. We've fallen from over $130 to last week's 124 when cash cattle finally traded on Friday. So it's really a large decline, kind of getting into, we might say spring has sprung already in our fed cattle price rally, but certainly lower prices. If we're looking for, I think, one big culprit in the thing, we really have to look at beef production. If production takes up two parts, the number of cattle we send to market and the weights that they weigh. So if we look at the number of cattle going to market, in particular steer slaughter, we'll see that steer slaughter's up pretty dramatically over a year before. We've got, in fact, steer and heifer slaughters both up in April. In the last week reported, looks like we're up close to 2% on slaughter for that week, for April as a whole. So we're certainly sending more cattle to market. And a running theme throughout this over the last certainly 8-10 months, we've been talking about fed cattle weights. Weights continue to be above a year ago, but they're really showing their kind of seasonal decline. If we looked at a normal seasonal weights for steers going to market, we have steers basically hit their bottom in kind of April, May. We certainly have that seasonal decline going on. One of the things that's worth pointing out is that last week's steer weights were the lowest of the year so far. They were also the smallest since July of 2015. So even though the numbers going to market are higher, the weights that we're slaughtering them at are actually lower. They're still ahead of a year ago, but they're on that seasonal downward trend. And the same holds for heifers too, which have seen their lightest weights since last September. So we've certainly got some movement in kind of the right direction on weights, while the number going to market are higher. One of the things in beef production is that the combination of the two, the weights and numbers, has led to some very large weekly numbers, weekly beef production. If we look at the last 5 weeks, the last week of March, and weekly production through the end of April, beef production was up over 6% year over year. That's a large increase year over year, and it's really the most beef produced in a week or weekly since October of 2015, when we were really in the depths of prices declining last fall. So we've got more beef being produced, we've got more beef for sale on the market than we've had since last fall, and that's really contributing to lower prices. If we looked at a chart of beef production, we've certainly got production sharply higher than a year ago. We've also got beef production in the last 2 weeks above the 5-year average. So we're really moving a lot, trying to move a lot in the market, and it's taking its toll on prices. I think there's some supportive factors in the future going on that I think we have the chance to see some higher prices. For one is really aggressive marketing rates or slaughter of cattle. Really, I think we're pulling cattle forward, maybe leaving some tighter supplies in coming weeks and months ahead. Certainly, weights trending downwards, a positive trend also. We also have some increasing byproduct values on the cattle side that I think can give us a little bit of support there. We also have seen in the last couple of weeks some of the largest estimated packer margins, or what I should say is a price spread, the live to cutout price spread, an estimated weekly value. We've seen some of the largest values in the last 25 years. So typically, larger earnings or more profits in that sector leads to the desire to make more money, and leads to maybe some more aggressive pulling of cattle forward, and desire to move those cattle through the system simply because they are profitable to do so at this time. So I think if you put that together, there's some hope for some better prices in the future. But right now the reality is I think prices are really depressed or pressured lower by large weekly beef production.